Hello and welcome to Polloi Two, and today we are doing an unboxing again. And so you can see here I've got quite a pile of boxes that have been building up over the last few weeks, and I thought it was a good time to sit down and open them up and see what's inside. These again have come from all over the world. There's one from Canada, there's one from South Africa, there's one from America, and then there's two from the UK. So yeah, it's a bit of a sort of worldwide selection of boxes here, and they're all full of old toys, I assume, because that's what people like sending me. I have no idea really what's inside most of these. I've got one from the States, from Corey from the YouTube channel Make Shape Create, which I do have an idea what's in it because he's done a video on it, and I will link to that in the description. But all of the rest, let's just get on and open them and see what's inside. So this first box here is from Grant in Canada. Grant's been a friend of the channel for a very long time. In fact, we've done trades and all sorts over the years, so I'm not quite sure what he sent me this time, but I'm sure it's good stuff. And I think this one actually was posted in the UK. He said he got some friends over here who were going to post it. So I haven't looked inside, so let's see what it is. So the note says, Dave, enjoy some finds, 3D prints, capes and assimilation. Right, let's see what this is. I have been chatting to Grant recently. He said he'd made some bits and bobs and 3D prints for some He-Man fixes. So what have we got here? We have got some sort of little sort of super deformed He-Man figures. There's a Beastman and a Skeletor. Those are really cool. I have seen those around. I wonder what the make is of them. I'm not quite up to date with some of these modern toys. I like Skeletor. He's very cool. And I assume that's Beastman. It looks a bit like Beastman, but without his armour. But definitely Skeletor. Very cool. Thank you for those. And then we have a shield. This is for the Ogre King from the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons line. I do have a few Ogre Kings. That would be very useful indeed. Then we have got some little sort of pullback cars. These look like strange little pullback cars. What's that one? This is just says made in Hong Kong. I assume it's a friction car. Doesn't seem to work, a bit stuck. And then something that looks a bit like a penny racer. Oh, I don't think that is a penny racer. It says Welly on the bottom, but certainly a very sort of penny racer-esque type car. And then we've got another one here, again, that looks like a little friction car. Very cool. And then here are some 3D prints. So what have we got here? It says 3D prints G.I. Joe wastes and Master of the Universe repair pegs. Oh yeah, this is what we were sort of chatting about. Grant has made some pegs that you can put into Masters of the Universe figures when the arm pegs break off, because they often break off. So these are things that you can sort of screw in and glue in to replace broken arm pegs. Those look pretty useful. I'll have to give those a try. I do have a few figures without them. And some 3D prints of waste for G.I. Joe figures that just need a good bit of paint on them to make them match. That's a cool idea, thank you. Then what have we got here? We've got some toy-polloi patterns cut from vinyl off a binder using a cricket. Oh, that's cool. So it's using my patterns to cut out capes. Oh, right, so we've got a little Jawa cape, we've got Obi-Wan Kenobi's cape, and then that is the Tusken Raider cape. Those look very useful indeed, and I like the fact that they've used my patterns. So yeah, I'll definitely be using those. And then finally, we have a Star Trek Next Generation Borg figure. This is a reaction figure. Wow, that's really cool. I've not seen that before. I like that. That's very nice indeed. It looks really nicely detailed. Yeah, I've not had any of these reaction figures. I think I bought myself a Battle Armor Skeletor. That's the only one that I've ever picked up. These look really nice. Oh, I do like that indeed. Thanks a lot for all of that stuff, Grant. Really, really very nice. And actually, I missed something, and the bottom of the box was this, which is the steering wheel for a G.I. Joe Snowcat. So that's very cool as well, because I used a piece of Lego in the one that I built. So yeah, that's very, very useful. Thank you. And this package has come from John in the UK, who's been a long-time friend of the channel. So let's open this one up and see what John has sent. So what have we got? There is a bag. Oh, right, it's a whole load of pieces. So let me just move this out of the way. Let's have a quick look in. You can see it's a whole box of broken figures. So let me empty these out and we'll take a closer look at what's what. So here we go. This is what was inside that box. It's a pile of, yeah, quite heavily sort of damaged and broken toys, but there are some useful pieces in here. I can see this is, it looks to me like a Generation 2 Starscream, Transformers Starscream with bits missing. It's not a G1 one just because of the colour of it, but certainly some useful bits in there. There's a Toy Biz version of Robin there, who's someone's burnt his face off. We've got Mum Ra from Thundercats. There's another Transformer here. This is one of the Protector bots. Actually, one of my favourites set of the Combiner figures. So I think that one's called, is he First Aid? Something like that. It turns into an ambulance, so I assume it'll be something medical. So that's pretty cool. Then we've got bits of other figures. There's a Terminator here. Again, someone's had a good go burning his face. This figure I really recognise, but I couldn't tell you what toy line it's from. It's got a strange action. Again, someone's sort of covered his face in paint. Wonder what toy line that is. Someone will know. If you know, leave in the comments section exactly what this figure is. I do recognise it. I've seen it multiple times. And then there's sort of bits of other figures, bits of things with heads missing, and some these look like Beast Wars figures. That's yeah, I recognise that one. That one might be complete. Looks like it's got a few bits missing, but it might be complete. And there's another Beast Wars figure here, sort of a Transmetal version of Cheetah. All useful bits. These will go into my box of broken figures, and at some point I will find uses for them all. So thanks for sending that stuff over, John. Next we have a rather large box which has come from another sort of long-time friend of the channel, PB Premslaw. He often sends me bits and bobs. I know he goes to Car Boots and sort of picks up all sorts of bits and figures and that, and anything that he's not interested in that's sort of broken and that gets sent to me. So I have no idea really what's inside this box. I know there's a couple of things that he did send me a photo of, so I've got a little bit of an idea of one of the pieces, but this is a much bigger box than I was expecting. So let's just take a look inside. Right, well, I can immediately see a few things that we'd been talking about. So there's some Star Wars stuff in here. There's a vehicle maintenance energizer, or the main part of one of those. And then some other bits. Oh yeah, definitely Star Warsy stuff. There's the bottom half of a snow speeder. Let me get all of this out of the box and we'll take a closer look again. I've actually got a box of snow speeder sort of parts in my loft because it's a ship I really like building, and this will go in that box, and at some point I'll find enough pieces to rebuild some of them. I think I've already got a few pieces for this. I've certainly got these parts here and some other bits lying around, so that's a good candidate to get started on, so thanks for that one. There's also a very beaten up ATST. This one looks like it's really sort of been in the wars. There's a piece smashed off at the side here so that this leg doesn't work. It should look something like that. So yeah, it's been through the wars, but it's again a potential project I've had in mind for a while. I want to do something with an ATST, so if I can fix up that or find a replacement part, that will be a good start for that project. There's also this vehicle maintenance energizer, a few other Star Wars pieces. There's the radar dish for the Millennium Falcon, and some other bits and bobs. Things that I don't recognise are sort of pieces like this. I think that might be off a toy line called Battle Bones. It sort of reminds me of that, but I'm not sure. If anyone knows what that is, do let me know. And then there's little ships from Star Trek Enterprise. Are these micro machines? I suppose they might be. They're that sort of tiny. So there's a couple of shuttles, and then there's is that a Klingon bird of prey? I think that's a Klingon. Might be wrong with that, but yeah, a sort of Klingon bird of prey. And then some other weapons and bits from larger 12-inch modern figures. There's a Stormtrooper blaster there. That actually might go with my vintage Stormtrooper, so I might be putting that on that. So yeah, thanks for sending that all in. It may look broken and damaged to many people, but it's potential projects. This package here is from Alan, all the way in South Africa. Again, I'm not really sure what's inside it. I sort of said to him, is it large stuff? And he goes, no, it's just small bits. So we'll open it up and see what small bits are in here. Right, there's a note. Let's have a quick read of that. It says, "Hi Dave, hope all is well and you're getting plenty of repairs done." I am. Do you know what? It's been a very busy week. I'm sending along a couple of items as a small thank you for the wonderful content you produce for YouTube, as well as for the very kind words of encouragement for my recent restoration job on my childhood Asterix figures. In the box are the following. All right, I will stop there. As you know, I like to be surprised. So yeah, let's stop reading that. Yes, I was chatting with Alan about repairing Asterix figures. I've only got one Asterix figures. I actually just have Asterix, but Alan's got quite a collection of them, and they really look like quite nice figures. I'm not quite sure why I never sort of got into them, but yeah, they're nice figures to look at. So what have we got here? We've got a little Japanese owl. Looks like it's made out of glass. That's really delicate. I like that. I'll show that to Mrs. TP. She may like that for herself. And then we've got a few other things in here. So what have we got? Take those all out. Well, first up, There's a Red Shadows Trooper. I'm slowly building my army of Red Shadows Troopers, so that will go with that. I do like this figure. It's got a strange sort of look about it, but it's such a British toy line, the Action Force figures. That's really cool. That will go with my slowly sort of building army. Then we have a Dr. Zaius figure. That's quite cool. It's a sort of a modern Dr. Zaius figure. It's about the same size as the Mego dolls. Who makes that then? Can I read on the bottom? Oh right, it says on the bottom that's NECA. I've not seen that figure before. I guess it's yeah, certainly a modern thing. He's got here the scroll, and he's got a little walking stick. So that's really nice. I like that. Stand him there. And then at the back here we've got a few other little pieces. We've got a little is this a Matchbox or Hot Wheels car? It's a little Hot Wheels car. What's that bit for it? Does that even go with it? I may have to read these notes, mightn't I? So there's a little modern Hot Wheels car there. And then we've got some bits and bobs. Ah, these are pieces to Asterix figures. So I definitely will have to start collecting some Asterix figures. There's all sorts of broken pieces here. We've got little broken swords and we've got some shields. Yeah, those are for Asterix. I'm definitely going to have to start collecting the Asterix figures now. I've got accessories that need fixing. So let's read the rest of the note. So the note says there's a Red Shadow Trooper, the only Action Force figure I ever had as a child. I did consider trying to build a collection locally, but I already collected too many other lines. So he sent that to me. So, well, that's great. Thank you ever so much for that. There's a Hot Wheels Vampira from the 1986 Speed Demons range. This is one of only a tiny number of survivors of my childhood Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars. At some point I remember going through a terribly destructive phase and took a hammer to most of my collection. In with the Vampire is a yellow walkie-talkie. I have no idea where it might be from, though I suspect it might be Playmobil. Oh right, could be. It does sort of look like Playmobil. I will stick that in my sort of random accessories bag. At some point I may work out what it is, but if anyone knows, do say. It's a sort of walkie-talkie, and it is, yeah, roughly sort of Playmobil size. And then we also have the Planet of the Apes Dr. Zaius NECA figure. It says here, often deservedly takes a lot of flack for their poor quality. I would agree with some of those. That actually seems pretty reasonably made. Nothing is broken on it, which is quite unusual. Yeah, thanks for that. And then it says, lastly, I'm sending over the remains of my Toy Cloud Asterix pieces. These are the leftovers from my restoration project, which I'm unlikely to ever use, so perhaps a piece or two might be of use for a future project. Do you know what? I think they will be, because I certainly would be fun to fix those up. And yeah, it's a toy line I really should collect, so yeah, I think those definitely will get used. And then he goes on to say, keep up the wonderful work and more strength to your plastic nippers. P.S. The little owl is for Mrs. Toy-Polloi. We bought a number of them in Otaru, Hokkaido during a trip in 2019. It's famous for its glass work. Oh well, I will definitely pass that over to Mrs. Toy-Polloi. It's very sweet and I'm sure it will look lovely in her room. So thank you for sending that over. That's really kind. This final box has come from Corey over at the YouTube channel Make Shape Create. If you haven't checked out his channel, then do. I will put a link to that in the description. He recently made a video where he customised a Masters of the Universe Origins figure, specifically to send it to me, and that is what is in this box. So let's get on and open it and you can see what he's made, because in the video it looked really fantastic, so I'm really excited to see what it looks like sort of in hand. So yeah, let's get opening this and we'll see what it's like. Oh well, it's more than just the figure I was expecting, so I'm going to empty this out and we can take a look at everything. Blimey. Okay, so where to start? Well, first up, as I say, this is from Corey over at Make Shape Create. So he sent me some stickers of his channel logo. These will be going on the box that I showed you on the previous video of an unboxing that I did, because I have a storage box where I keep my action guys. So that will be going on the back of those. So thanks for those, Corey. But this is what I saw him make on his channel. And here we go. This is the Masters of the Universe Origins version of Phony. It's basically He-Man's version of Faker, so it's a robotic version of Skeletor. So he's taken the sort of a He-Man body, given it a repaint, and then we've got a repainted version of Skeletor's face on there on this custom card. So it's yeah, really very nice indeed. It's certainly something that's going to look good on display. If we turn it over, it's even got a different bit of artwork on the back showing Phony attacking Skeletor, and there's some different graphics there. It's a really nice thing. Certainly go and check out his channel because you can see how that was all made. Then we've got a few Justice League figures. So these are little mini figures of Batman. We've got Superman, there's a couple of Supermans, and then there's Wonder Woman there, and a small version, a sort of small bust of Thor from Avengers. Those are quite cool actually. These are micro collection figures from Mattel. Yeah, I like those, very nice. Then we have a whole pile of the mini comics that come with the Origins figures. Quite a few of these I don't have, and if you've seen my reviews of the figures, you'll see that sometimes the European versions don't have any text in them. So a lot of these look like they're US versions, so I can actually read what the comics are and see what the story is supposed to be. So that's really cool. I do like those, and I will give those all a good read. Let's open up this package here. This to me looks like a loose version of Phony that we have carded in the background. So Corey's obviously made a few of these. Let's see, so I can have one on display loose and one in the packet in the background. Open this up. I can see all sorts of weapons. Yeah, there we go. There's a loose version of Phony. We'll get his weapons out and we'll pose him up properly. There we go. I'll put all his weapons on him. He's looking really quite aggressive there. I like that. That's really cool. So I've got one to display in card and one loose one there. Then there's another bag here, and I can immediately see the remains of one of my favourite characters sitting there. So we have a battle armour version of Skeletor minus a head. I can see some other heads and bits in this bag. Let me just tip some of these out. Let's see what's there. Oh right, look, there is a head, so I can actually put that together. A little bit of a battered and beaten up Skeletor, but that to me is a nice project. We've also got, this is a Origins version of Skeletal Head. Looks like it's been painted up to look more like the original. That's a project I actually had planned, so maybe I don't need to do it. Maybe you just need to go and check out Make, Shape, Create to see how he's done it. But that was something I'd planned to do because I thought that the Origins head could be made to look a lot more like the original. So that's a good one. And then we've got a cast version of an original Skeletor head. I think that's an original Skeletor head in clear plastic. That's quite cool, like that. So what's in this bag? I'll just cut some of these bubbles. Oh right, well there's a door for Castle Grayskull. I can spot that straight away. Recognise the teeth. Alright, it's a broken door for Castle Grayskull. Very common issue, often see these broken. So we've got a broken door for Castle Grayskull. And then we have, what's that? Feels like another door for Castle Grayskull. It is indeed. It's another door for Castle Grayskull, and again a broken one. Often these pieces are missing. I should actually show in my restoration a long time ago how to repair those. And we've got one final bag here, which is the ladder for Castle Grayskull, missing one of its little ends there, but it's always useful to have, and I'm sure that can be fixed up. So thanks, Corey. Really lovely stuff. I really do love that custom figure. That's so nice of you to go to the effort of making that for me and sending it over. And as I say, if you haven't checked out his channel, I'm going to put a link to that in the description, so please do go and check out the Make, Shape, Create YouTube channel. So thanks to everyone who's taken the time to send stuff in to me. As always, I try and return some toy-polloi merch to everybody who donates to the channel, and there's lots of really cool projects here, so thanks. I know a lot of people would be disappointed to receive broken toys, but that's what this channel is all about, you know, making and fixing toys. So thanks for those, and I really do love the custom figures. Those are fantastic, so thanks, Corey, for those. And just thanks to everyone who sort of takes the time to watch and comment on my videos. It's always a pleasure to chat with people and fellow toy collectors. If you've enjoyed this video, then make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you really enjoyed it, then head on over to my main channel, toy-polloi, and subscribe there as well. And thanks for watching.